What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, we're talking Creature Commandos, Episode 6. But before we get into all of that fun, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, I had a good day. My Bears beat your Packers. It was the first time since 2018, so
Yeah,
can't even blow a
after 11 wins in a row by the Packers, I guess the adage, a blind squirrel, fits here.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny that. And, I didn't expect them to win the whole, even though the Bears led the entire game, I still didn't expect them to win. When the Packers took the lead with 54 seconds left, I was like, yep, that's definitely it. Yeah, I was blown away. They got the field goal. Unbelievable. So, bravo. Nice job, guys. Way to close out the season. Other than that, I've watched this episode here twice. And the first time I watched it, and I was like, how the hell are they going to fit that title into the dialogue? And then you got to realize they have a foreign language, so he was able to do it easily. But, I guess we'll talk about the rest in a moment. Doug, how are you?
Well, Dave, if one of you could kindly sing for me In the Arms of an Angel.
In the arms of an angel.
Dave, I am not outstanding. My coffee maker died.
Oh, no.
May she rest in peace.
That's rough, man.
That is terrible news, man.
Starting tomorrow morning, I will be fully embracing the Sith. I've opened up the teachings of the dark side, and I will be sustaining myself on anger and hatred. And
Use your hate.
Thank you. I will, Master. I will do what I must.
Get a Keurig.
I've got. Weirdly enough, I do have I've got a Darth Vader themed Keurig, and it's fine. It's good. It doesn't really brew like the best, cup of coffee, but I might have to use that in a pinch. I am heavily addicted to caffeine, so if I try to go without it, I will get a devastating headache. But other than that, I'm doing great. I really liked this episode of Creature Commando, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, Keith, sir, how are you?
Despite what was on the field today by my beloved Green Bay Packers, I'm doing tremendously. One of the things that the whole game is, if they would have won and I almost called them the Redskins, and the Commanders would have lost, they would have been the 6th seed instead of the 7th seed. But the Commanders won. This game meant nothing. They were going to have to play Philly in Philly no matter what next week. So I don't feel as bad about it. Would it have been better to beat the Bears for the 12th time in a row? Yes. Because if you know anything about the Packers and Bears, they hate each other. And letting Caleb Williams get his first win against the Packers in his rookie year feels like a shame. But you know what? Hey. It's okay. Everything else is going well. Hopefully we can somehow try to win a game in Philly. I don't know how that's going to happen, especially if Jordan Love and Christian Watson are both out next week, and Romeo Doubs. They're all left. Well, Doubs was out today, and then Watson and Love got hurt. So.
Yep. Well, is Jalen Hurts playing next week?
I think so. He was out this week, but I think it was just a precautionary measure since it didn't matter what Philly did today. They were, they're going to be the number 2 seed.
I can't believe, Barkley didn't play. He was so close to the record. That's why, but still, when you think about it, he was 100 yards off, so he would have had to play an entire game. He couldn't play like the first half and got it.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it.
I just thought against his old team, it would have been nice to set the all-time rushing record against the team that let him go. But we're not here for jock talk. Or are we? No. Did we? No, we're not. We are not here for jock talk.
That's our other channel.
That's right. Tune into Not Your Jock Talk. But we're here to talk Creature Commandos. Episode 6 dropped on us, and it was another very good episode. I really am digging this show. Now, I won't attempt to say the title because, like Dave said,
I was about to say, Keith, you didn't say the title name.
I'm not going to attempt it. But like Dave said, they did manage to work it into the episode. Thank God, because I was worried the streak would be ended. But it is not. But we did get the backstory on one Dr. Phosphorus. And it was interesting. We were kind of talking about this offline, that Rupert Thorne played a big role in it. Obviously, Rupert Thorne was trying to get Alexander, I won't say his last name, it's like Sartorius, to work on some nuclear, cure cancer with nuclear fusion. And then when Alex realizes his true intentions, he kind of turns on him, and then Thorne kills his entire family, making it look like he was the one guilty of it, and then basically stuck him in a reactor and turned it on. And unfortunately, it didn't kill him, but turned him into who we know and love as Dr. Phosphorus.
Love.
Hey, Alan Tudyk does a great
when
job.
you see his backstory, you gotta feel bad for him.
Oh, definitely. One thing that I was just a teeny tiny, minuscule disappointed in with that was it almost felt like they didn't develop, or they didn't give enough time to Dr. Phosphorus's backstory. I mean, it was fine. Like we got the cliff notes of, okay, he tried to do a good thing, got turned into a radioactive monster, and then got a pimp suit and danced.
I was going to say, we could have had less pimp suit dancing and more backstory,
Right.
But I didn't mind the pimp suit dancing as much as I thought I would.
It's kind of funny.
Yes.
And I will say that I did enjoy watching his henchmen like paint their face. I'm just like, okay, hey, live your best life, guys.
We see.
I like what broke up. I like what broke up his pimp dance. That was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman. I would have thought it would have been a different hero, but completely awesome. That there was as breathtaking as you could be in a cartoon setting.
Well, once they showed him, rampaging the Iceberg Lounge, I'm like, okay, well, I know where this is headed. It was kind of like, oh, okay, all right, yep, I get how this is gonna end.
I wasn't sure they were going to show Batman though, only because. But the way they did it makes sense. I was like, they probably don't have all the designs down how they want the DCU Batman to look. So having him just in the shadows up on the roof, where it wasn't anything clear. The only thing that was pretty clear, and there's been a lot of talk online about how thick this Batman is. He's not thin. He had some girth to him.
Is that a double C thick?
But it was almost reminiscent of, in not the Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad, when we see Deadshot get caught by Batman and then kind of put away. So it is nice kind of seeing all of these backstories and every one of them being innocent, either wrongly accused, or in this case, not only wrongly accused, but driven pretty insane by, a nuclear experiment that gave him his powers. I mean,
imagine trying to go to a job interview, glowing, and you're essentially a giant radioactive skeleton. And here's my resume. You may not want to touch that unless you've got lead gloves. As you can see, I am a scientist. Not mad. I know it looks like I am.
I'm not always smiling. It just looks that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was kind of a dark moment when he said that to the girl. He's like, yeah, I suppose it does look like I'm smiling, but I'm not. It's like, oh shit.
And they immediately change scenes.
Yep.
And you're thinking, did he get sinister there? No.
I thought that's the direction it was going to go too.
I did too.
Because we just watched him, like, literally. I mean, I guess Rupert Thorne had it coming to him. I don't think his kids did. That was a little I don't know if he should have done that, but I get why he did it, in pure rage. So I really did think like, okay, this guy has lost all of his humanity. That's what this backstory is telling me. But no, I think what this showed us is that even after everything, and him looking like a monster, being part of the Creature Commandos, he's still a human underneath it all.
He does have some of his humanity still.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of bad
Even though
things.
Priyatel Skelet.
He said it. Hey,
You said the thing.
and then
I love also the ongoing saga of Eric Frankenstein. Oh my gosh, what a psycho, dude.
he does have somewhat of a code. He did get Rick flagged to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just to show that he's not that good of a guy, he basically takes over a plane, murders everybody. I don't think he had to murder those people to
I don't
to
think
to
so.
get there, but he did, and he's going to arrive in Poklistan, whatever you want to call it.
Home sweet home.
Yes, home sweet home, right as the bride, Nina, Weasel, and Dr. Phosphorus are converging on the palace. It is setting up for a wonderful finale next week.
Why, Keith, why does it have to end so soon?
Because that's the story that needed to be told.
It's just
Tell
the
you
show
what.
has been such a delight.
Tell you what, yeah, I mean, it might have been thinned out a little bit if they don't end it next week. That's, like Keith said, that's all he's got. You don't want to stretch anything out if you don't have to.
At
I
least
suppose.
at least we get a second season, so
I
they can
know. I
conjure
am
up
so
some new
looking forward
stories.
to it. Oh man.
And maybe by then we'll have a little more, because supposedly, according to James Gunn, Lanterns is going to start kind of be the beginning of a big mystery that's going to happen, say, throughout the chapter 1 of the DCU. So maybe he'll have some things to add to that in the second season. Maybe the story will need to be told over 10 episodes or 9 or 11. So hopefully we get some more, depending on
Well-
who is possibly still alive at the end of the season.
I also really hope that since, next week is the finale, I'm hoping that somehow we get GI Robot back.
I hope so too. Now we have a question
Because-
from the YouTube
Oh,
chat.
all right.
What if the princess is pregnant with Rick Flag Sr.'s child?
Ooh, oh, I didn't even consider that.
That could certainly complicate things.
Yeah. A little
Unfortunately,
bit.
fortunately, there's not much he can do about it. He is in the hospital, But
Broken back.
will that be how Eric shows his heroism to the bride? I don't know how he would find out, but if he was like protecting her, saying, she's with child or whatever, and we must protect her, maybe that would bridge the gap between him and the bride. Not that I think she would necessarily care, but it would be interesting to see what's going to happen when they meet up again.
It would be interesting to find out if Eric even cares.
Oh, about a kid? Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hi- considering he deemed, knocking a woman over the back of the head with a cast iron skillet an act of kindness. I don't know that he would be,
I don't think he would either, but I'm thinking he might think the bride would think it's a heroic thing.
Oh,
and
so
might do it that way.
yeah, I don't know if he's that smart. He's definitely more of a Hawaiian shirt wearing bro.
He has not shown that ability, but maybe someone will help him out. His old dog will come barking up and let him know.
James Gunn, who we know is your best friend online, is now furiously re-editing the episode. Shit, that's a good idea.
Why didn't I think of that? But it was funny seeing sort of the other situations that people found themselves in. Nina and the bride found themselves in a brothel with, I can't remember her name, but Oh my God, what is the sci-fi show on Prime that I loved? Why can't I think? Your dad loved.
Expanse.
Yeah, The Expanse. She was the voice of like the head of it. I don't know what you call the head of a brothel, and it's very very unique voice. But seeing
You don't know what you call the head of a brothel, you said?
yeah, what do you call
Yeah,
the
the
head of-
madam.
The madam.
That's right. The madam of the brothel. I love her voice. She's a great actress.
Not
It
that
was
I've
nice
been to
hearing-
one.
He's been to
Yeah,
two.
not that we know, because we don't go to those places. But
We haven't
It's
been
not
to
like I carry business cards of my favorite brothels.
we haven't been to one brothel. We've been to many.
there's more than one, guys.
Speaking of brothels, tonight our sponsor is YouTube immediately demonetizing us.
Or they're like a new revenue stream. Interesting. But yeah, they're a little bit at odds with them at first. You know, they're the bride kind of threatening them, but they do end up, you know, taking care of some meta bros that were, you know, getting physical with one of the girls. So I think overall, you know, they have maybe made some friends in the country because, you know, last thing you want is some metas going in and roughing up your girls, especially if you don't have a meta to kind of put them off. So I think that was kind of, even though the bride seemed to be like, I don't care about the girl, I just did it because
Right.
she likes violence, I assume. But then Weasel finds a pack.
Yes.
And I was like, they're not going to have him like bring all the wolves in onto the final fight and stuff. But no, he just played with them for a while, then left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that worked too. Like, just carries a stick over and like, oh yeah, shit, we'll play fetch.
If he was a person, that wouldn't have worked. Since he was a weasel, it worked.
Yep. Yeah, if he was a human, they would have ate him. But because he was Weasel.
Keith, did the pack leader kind of remind you of Wolf from Young Justice?
It did.
That was like my first thought. I saw it and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what that kind of looks like.
And I wonder if they were paying a little homage to Young Justice. The animators
I
were
wonder.
kind of doing it because it would have been a nice thing. Because Young Justice still is probably my favorite animated project from DC. Well, the first two seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
We won't talk about the others.
I did try to rewatch season 3 recently. It was, yep,
It was a show.
on the show.
Oh, and Sully's here with his MetaQuest. Okay, buddy,
speaking of metas.
don't hit the camera. Come on, dude.
I just wanted the.
Yeah, they all saw it. You don't got to keep it
I
in the
just want to
camera.
make the whole screen white.
But, buddy, I don't want you hitting the camera and messing on my webcam, please.
Nope, you're all out of focus.
Yes, because
And there you are.
there was a giant thing right up next to the camera. And yes, we've been brought to you by MetaQuest, Sully's preferred video game. But it does seem like, well, two things I think we know for sure are going to happen in the next episode. There's going to be a complete Donnybrook between the Princess's forces, Creature Commandos, and Eric Frankenstein is somehow going to work into the mix. And I don't know how it is all going to play out, but I can't wait to find out. And we also are going to get Nina's backstory. And that's the thing
Finally.
that really is making me wonder how they're going to wrap all this up, because it's always, the backstory has always sort of played a little bit of role in what they're doing currently too. So it's hard to imagine how that's going to work into it.
I'm waiting for her backstory to be like the most horrific, like she drowned an entire like yacht or something.
You think she's going to be like the only guilty one?
Right. She's gonna be like, because like she
She's
comes
so
off as
nice.
the kindest and most caring. So I think like her crime is gonna be the worst out of all of them.
And not an accident. She's just a cold-blooded killer. Were they guilty?
Oh,
Did you kill those
sorry,
40 people on the boat because they were guilty of something? No.
No,
I just
they were
wanted to
just
see
in my
them
way.
die. Did you have to do it to 30 people? Yes.
I had to make sure, no witnesses.
No witnesses.
I wonder if Aquaman will be in her story.
I was thinking that. I don't know. I don't. Part of me says probably not because they haven't cast a new Aquaman yet. Who knows if they've settled on what kind of design they want to go for him?
If it's a Batman type of appearance where it's just like,
Or you just see like a shadow under the water with like a trident.
yeah, or if he bobs up above the water for a second, just his hair or something.
He's got long hair. He looks Polynesian. And he looks a little
You
like
hear
Lobo
sirens singing in the distance.
for 7 minutes. The longest
Right.
episode of Creature Commandos because of the song.
All of it dedicated to this really awkward song that doesn't make any sense.
Doug, it made perfect sense. It was the centerpiece of a complete
Oh my god. I had to walk away from the movie at that point. I was like, oh god, I don't know how I'm going to review this.
Yeah, you did. You were a professional. You finished it up. We reviewed it. And it was all hunky-dory.
We're all very proud.
Yes, yes. one of our most viewed videos of all time. Until
Was
people
it
found
really?
out we didn't like it. Yeah, it's like top 10.
No kidding. I did not know that. Wow.
Great movie. Great movie.
But back to Creature Commandos. It would be interesting to see if Aquaman is mentioned or silhouetted somehow in this thing because, we have gotten a lot of sort of cameos. We got Superman in the Vision. We got Starfire. We got Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. We got Mr. Terrific. We got Wonder Woman. So a lot of characters with obviously not too much detail to how they're going to look in the thing, but we're almost getting a vision of where Chapter 1 might be going. We did see Wally West as Flash, so they very well could be leaning into that instead of having Barry Allen, who may come into play later. They're going to start with Wally West as the Flash. So I think there's a good chance Aquaman could play some role in her backstory.
You know what's when we first saw that vision and whatever, and it was mentioned that was Wally West. My first thought was, I wonder if James Gunn is pulling from the original DC animated universe where that they also started with Wally West. They didn't start with Barry Allen. In fact, I don't even think Barry Allen existed in that universe. I think Wally was the original Flash. It's kind of combined his and Barry's backstories into one. So I don't know if he's going with that or if this is just set like further into the future or like, we do know that like his Superman movie, for instance, is supposed to be like after he's been Superman for a while.
Yep. Yeah, it's not an origin. Superman has been around.
Mm-hmm.
People are familiar with him. Obviously,
And hence all the Green Lanterns, multiple, and
yeah, and I think that's a good choice. We don't need to have this crazy beginning. So it is nice. It's a lived-in universe already.
yeah,
which could lead to who knows what kind of cameos in this last episode of Creature Commandos. We may have some other metas show up because of all the shenanigans going on.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
If Amanda Waller finds out she was tricked, I don't know if Rick Flag is going to be able to tell her, hey, that wasn't the professor. That was Clayface who told you those lies. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to. But if she finds out she was tricked, she may pull in some other assets to go there or just try to pull the Creature Commandos out. I don't know. But
So my question to that, and I think I might have asked this before, but I keep thinking, like, to what end? What is Cersei trying to accomplish? Unless, your theory is correct and she is being, puppeted by somebody else. Like, but I don't understand what is her goal? What is she trying to accomplish in all of this? The fact that she allowed herself to be, so gravely injured, the fact that she didn't kill the bride or Nina when she could have. It's just and also her soldiers were so ineffectual. It's like I don't know what was her goal? Like what was she trying to make happen there?
The only thing I can think of is that if it is true and that the vision was fake, which it seems like it is after the whole Clayface, thing, that maybe she was going to be a force for good and help, put down whatever plans, maybe Vandal Savage, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, who knows? And they wanted to take her out early, knowing that she was going to, help in stopping whatever, plan they have. That's the only thing I can think of why they would target her, unless there's some natural resource that we're going to find out is in that country, that's needed to build some super weapon or something along those lines.
We do know they apparently have oil, which is what Amanda Waller was interested in.
Yes. But I don't think oil is enough for a supervillain to hatch a scheme of this nature. It's enough to get the United States
Imagine
involved.
if that really was what Cersei what was driving her. She's like, well, they've got a lot of oil. What on earth do you need oil for? Well, I own a car company. You guys didn't know?
You don't need a superhero story for this. That actually happens in real life.
Right.
All the time, unfortunately.
I'm Cersei, the CEO of Metropolis Oil. Did you not know?
And here's my son, Joffrey.
So it was just capitalism? Just capitalism.
Everybody can understand that, right? Yeah.
Okay, Hunter Iggy has asked, do you think Aquaman was blonde hair with a hook for a hand? I think he will have blonde hair. I don't think he'll have a hook for a hand yet. I think that would be a story that they might want to tell in the DCU at some point, with him losing his hand and then, adding that hook in some way. But I do think he'll be blonde. That's been the Aquaman version that has been around for the longest period of time. And I think they'll stick with it. So I think if we
they
do
probably
see it,
don't want to confuse him with the previous version of Aquaman,
with Lobo, yes.
Right. With Lobo.
They can't give him the hook right away because they don't want him to think he's out of Peter Pan.
True. They don't want to confuse any viewers. Why is
He's got a hook. Who is this guy?
Why is Captain Hook working with Superman and Batman?
I just don't understand.
He was a bad guy.
And he talks to fish now? What's this all about?
I still think my favorite. Did you guys ever watch Dr. Katz? Where
I know what you're talking about, but I never watched it. It's a cartoon where the guy's all...
Yeah.
All
he was like, I remember seeing it like years ago, but I remember so little about it.
It was like therapy, but comedians would be on it. And Dave Chappelle's joke was like, you know what superhero I don't get? Aquaman. What's your superpower? Oh, I can talk to fish. And they show him, he's like sitting there and his fish swims by. He goes, hey, fish. And he goes, hey, Aquaman. Is there anything happening undersea that I should know about? And he's like, hey, Aquaman.
Super helpful.
But we have seen, even, I believe you watched part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths, where you find out, he not only can talk to, little fish, but he can also talk to bigger sea monsters to help in the battle. And I think Jeff Johns was the one who really, the writer that brought that out with Aquaman. Aquaman was always kind of I don't want to say a joke character, but he was like used, oh, we were underwater, so we'll bring Aquaman in and he can talk. But Jeff Johns he was like bringing, a school of sharks to attack people and, help them fight. So I think we'll definitely see that version of Aquaman once he comes into the DCU, which we don't know of any plans for Aquaman as of yet. Honestly, all we know for the DCU is Creature Commandos, Superman, Supergirl, Lanterns, Batman the Brave and the Bold, Booster Gold. And I think that's all that's been announced. Oh, and Clayface.
No, Clayface.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
That's gonna be a hard sell for me, but we'll see.
Well, having seen so many various versions of Clayface, he's definitely a deep enough character. I could see that. I think my favorite, if you want to just tangent us real quick.
Already on route, sir.
For a while.
Sorry. I think my my favorite story with him was from the original Batman animated series. During one of his fights with Batman, part of him got like split off, and it developed its own consciousness. And Robin ended up like befriending it. It like took the form of a little girl, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to find my dad. I don't know where he is." And it was such a sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen this cartoon from the '90s, but so Robin's trying to help her out, only to find out that her dad is Clayface, and all he wants to do is reabsorb her to bring himself back to full power. And you would think, a story about a superhero, they'd save the day, they'd find a way. No, it was a dark ending. He reabsorbs her, this consciousness, this girl dies. She just becomes another part of Clayface, and then, he tries going on a murder rampage again, and it's like... there's so much that can be done with this character. The fact that he, like, in most versions of his backstory, he started off as like a very vain actor. It was always worried about how he looked, and trying these experimental creams and whatever turned him into this monster.
And the fact that like this project wasn't even mentioned, and then for whatever reason, the writer from Doctor Sleep and a few things came up with this script, and it's already been greenlit.
Which good choice
yes.
of a director and writer, by the way. I mean,
he hasn't been confirmed to be a director yet.
Oh, well, he should be.
No, I agree. I thought it was weird that I shouldn't say weird. I thought it was odd that because odd and weird are totally separate things. But they said he's the writer and stuff, but they never said he was directing it also. Now that may have just been.
Now you are talking about Mike Flanagan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't like another writer that had worked on Doctor Sleep that I wasn't aware of.
No, it's Flanagan. I should have said that.
Okay.
And they haven't said that he's directing it also. I assumed he was, but then I was looking back through it and I'm like, they've never said he's being the director. And that could just be, a slip.
An oversight or something.
Yeah, an oversight or something along those lines, but they never actually said he's directing it too. So, but
he's written amazing horror stories. Like if you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House or what was the vampire one? Oh my gosh, really great shows.
Didn't he
gotta
like
check
Midnight
them out.
Mass too?
Yes, Midnight Mass. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Excellent shows. You got to check them out. Check out Doctor Sleep. I mean, if he's going to be writing and hopefully potentially directing a Clayface movie or show, whatever it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, and that's why when they first announced when the rumor first came up that they were going to be doing a Clayface movie, I was like, what is going on? That can't be true. There's no way. But then you start hearing about, well, it's Mike Flanagan, and James Gunn says, you know what? The reason this is going into production sooner than other things, the script's done, and I love it. So makes you hope that it's not The Flash is the greatest comic book movie ever made thing, but it's really just a tremendous script, and we're going to be in for another villain-centric thing that is awesome. The DCU will be soon known for villain-centric shows and movies that are just tremendous. Hopefully.
Right. I wonder if Batman will be in this movie. Like the opposite of Sony movies.
Maybe. But I was thank you, Dave. Perfect segue. I was about to say, Keith, you're wrong. Sony is known for their villain movies. Everybody knows that. They make perfect villain movies. Did you even see Morbius? Or Craven?
What about the Steelbook behind you, Doug? Did you forget about that masterpiece?
Right, where they took a character that has never been a villain and then turned him into a villain for reasons. Isn't that fun? Oh, Sony. Oh boy.
Oh, and did you hear that the director of Deadpool 2 wants to direct Lobo? Yes. David
Yeah, I read
Lettich
that.
said he would love to direct a Lobo movie.
That would be fun.
I would be there opening. Well, I'm always there opening night, but I would look forward to be there opening night if that happens out.
Can we guess the atmosphere of that movie? You know, the vibe that movie's gonna have with all you've heard just so far.
We cannot. No, sorry. Let's move on. No, I'm kidding. Of course we can.
I feel like it's gonna be a little more lighthearted than from what I hear, like the name Clayface, and I picture what he did in this series. You know, obviously he's a little more lighthearted in the Harley Quinn show, but is he going to be? I think it'll be lighthearted with this guy directing, and really, I don't know about the writer.
You talking about Clayface or Lobo?
I'm talking about Clayface.
Oh,
I don't
Did
think
they say
this is
Clayface?
going to be. Yeah. No, Lobo. The director of Deadpool
Oh,
2
okay.
wants to direct a movie with Lobo. Now that Lobo has
Oh,
been
okay.
confirmed in DCU,
Well,
but
it'll still be lighthearted.
I don't think Clayface is going to be lighthearted.
No. Now if we switch back to Lobo. Yes, I
Oh.
think Lobo.
I think it'll have humor elements, and I think it'll be
Oh, yeah.
hyper violent.
because he's a very over the top humorous. You know, I don't want to say villain. He's just a psychopath.
He's
a
really
character.
he just
The main
does,
man.
does whatever makes him money or what he wants to do.
He's basically a more 80s action oriented Crumbopulous Michael. I just love killing. Well,
Doesn't
here I
matter
go,
who.
killing again.
I don't care if it's kids. I don't care if it's anybody. I'll just do it.
It was
just
the
love
women and children. Yeah, cool. I'm just happy, that we got a much better casting in the DCU. Jason Momoa is a much better fit for Lobo than Aquaman any day of the week.
Oh yeah. we
And they
we
got
said
him-
that a long time ago too.
They got him to do it before he got too old to do it too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be good to see. It'll be good
Now
to
I
see.
wonder if he is going to, go through a regimen to kind of like build his muscles back up even more. Lobo's pretty, thick double C too.
He definitely is. So yeah, I'm sure he will. I mean, he seems pretty excited. He already posted a reel on Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw it, where he's smoking a cigar
Script.
and he has
Oh,
a
yeah,
script
yep,
that
yep.
says
Says
"For Lobo's,
Lobo's
eyes only."
Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
And that that'll be filming soon. Man, it's a lot of good things seem to be happening, and I think that always can happen early on in a cinematic universe like this. The key will be continuing to have great projects and have them come out on a regular basis, because it's hard to keep churning out great things. It tends to get watered down. We saw that as soon as the MCU said, hey, we need 3 or 4 movies a year and we need all these shows for Disney Plus because we're launching this streaming service. Quality started being very hit or miss, and even the hits were not where they were before. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I hope they learn their lessons. They seem to be James Gunn just seems to be a guy who can write all the time, though. He seems to have just the ability to write an entire show. Like he hasn't been active on social media probably since New Year's Day, and I'm like, okay, he's writing Creature Commandos 2 or some other show, or he's writing the Waller show, and he's got it done by now. It'll be totally written out, and they'll start putting things together. So he's just an anomaly like that. And Hunter Iggy has one more question. Do you think we will get hints of Crush in the DCU? Is Crush Lobo's daughter? Am I remembering that correctly? Hunter Iggy, if you're listening, I'm pretty sure Crush was Lobo's daughter, which came about
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah. Maybe. That's a tough one because that's one of those characters that's so much like her dad. They might not want to double up characters like that, but I think it could be an interesting team between Lobo and Crush. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't think it will, but I think they could work it into an interesting story. So,
No,
I'm gonna say
would,
possibly.
she would be someone that would be great in the Harley Quinn show.
Yep.
Yeah, she would fit.
So yeah, she will be joining Harley Quinn season 5 coming up January 16th. That's a good question. I would. It'd be interesting.
Oh
to
yeah,
see.
yeah.
You gotta find that out.
Well, back to Creature Commandos. So we're ending up. We've got them converging. We got Eric back, home sweet home. We
Just
got
paid off the pilot.
Yep. We got the princess readying her forces. We got the Creature Commandos converging on the castle, and we are going to have complete and utter mayhem this Thursday on Max. Do you think this episode will be a little longer? You think it'll be about 40 minutes?
I would hope it'd be a little bit longer. I would hope they'd give us about an hour or so episode to just really, not only tell us Nina's story, but give us a proper climax to this entire thing. Like, is the princess actually evil? What is Cersei trying to do? Like, and I truly hope that they don't leave it on a cliffhanger that we've got to wait like 2 years to find out, what's going to happen next.
James Gunn did confirm there will be a post-credit scene for the final episode.
Ooh, really? Now, the one thing that now, this is kind of a what's next, but the reason why I don't think there will be any kind of like extravagant cliffhanger that's going to leave us wondering, why I think they're going to wrap this up. When they were originally making this, I don't believe there were talks about it being renewed for a season 2 yet.
There was not.
So I'm going to assume that this is going to be one complete story, and then season 2 will be a different dilemma.
Now
Yeah,
I was
think you're right about that.
I was rewatching the Superman trailer again.
Oh yeah?
I've done it a few times. We do see some magic, or what looks like Cersei's magic, in the trailer,
Oh
in the
wow.
background. Do you think we might get Cersei in the Superman movie?
At this point, I wouldn't say no because it seems like they've got about 18 to 20 different characters in there already. So why not shove in a few more?
Let's keep it going. So
Keep
Why
it
not
going.
Zatanna?
Put them all in.
Why not Zatanna?
You put her in there too, and Zatara.
the only reason I wouldn't say Zatanna,
Or
and
Zatanna.
I would like her to be there. They haven't said they cast anybody yet, but we do know that there is a female character that hasn't been announced that'll be in Superman, according to rumors. A lot of people think it's Supergirl because, one, we know that she's already been cast, and people think they see her in the reflection on the robot from the thing, but it would be kind of interesting if it was Zatanna, because if Cersei does show up, they would need a Dr. Fate, Zatanna, or someone else to possibly counter her magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be against that. Once again, if there's anyone I trust with a large cast in a movie, it is James Gunn. He writes it. They all get their moment. They all get their time. So,
They haven't cast a Wonder Woman yet, have they?
nope.
Didn't think so.
Haven't heard one.
There was the lady from Andor. What the heck's her name? She has like double A's. No, not Mon Mothma. Who played like Diego Luna's girlfriend?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Blonde Empire chick, or are you talking about the? Oh no, the girl on from the Junk Planet. Her. Oh
Yeah, her friend was
Maybe.
Tim Cruise.
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, her boyfriend is Tim.
She's like
Oh, poor Tim.
her first and last name both start with A's, and that's all I can remember. But someone, once again, I think it was a fan casting, and someone said, "Hey, she would be great for it," but nothing has been cast. But I would certainly. She's excellent actor.
Adria Arjona.
Yep, that's
I'm
her.
saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if you're saying it right, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, she could work. Sure. I could see her making a decent Wonder Woman. Why not?
Yeah. So, should we rate this episode, gentlemen?
Good. That's part of our show. Let's do that.
It is.
Why not?
Should we reverse it for this week?
You want to start?
Down, back, and then reverse it.
Every week we'll keep reversing it. It'll be Dave first and me first. Doug's always in the middle.
Why not?
How does that make you feel, Doug? That means you always have to
I'm here.
But for me,
Like, I feel normal.
yeah, it's all good. Doug's very chill. Another excellent episode. I enjoyed Dr. Phosphorus's humble beginnings. I liked how, once again, we see that these, monsters, these creatures are, innocent and either misunderstanding, set up, all of these things. I liked the Batman cameo. I thought that was well done. I was very unexpected. When I figured out they were in Gotham, I was like, they're not going to do it, are they? Oh, they did it. Sweet. So we got that. We got a pushing forward of the, plot just a bit, but we had all those nice little side stories. We had Nina and the bride in the brothel. We had Dr. Phosphorus with that little girl. We had Weasel with his new pact. And was it this episode that they kind of hinted that he sees the princess as that one little girl from his backstory? Or was that from his backstory?
Say that again? I didn't quite understand what you're talking about.
He looks at the princess of this country that they're going to kill, which he probably doesn't know. He compares her to the little girl he saved back in his backstory.
Oh.
Which made me start thinking that he may save her.
Dr. Phosphorus? Huh? Maybe.
No, Weasel is going to save her.
Oh, Weasel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah. He seems very much like he's just along for the ride.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, hey, I get to fight people, but I think he may stand up for her if they go to attack her, and he may be the one
I could see that.
who saves her in the end, possibly. But that's a what's
He
next.
didn't play fetch with him, so,
Exactly. But I think this is another enjoyable episode. I think they've all been, really well written. The plot is streamlined. It's entertaining. The animation is great. The music is fantastic. Nothing has changed from what we said before. I'm going to give this episode an 8.3. I thought it was really well done, and I'm going to try to watch all 6 episodes this week before episode 7 drops. But they've all been good. So 8.3 for me. How about you, Douglas?
Well, I did enjoy most of this episode, but honestly, I didn't feel like enough really happened. I didn't feel like enough really was pushing the story forward the way that I've come to expect from this show. And by no means am I saying it was bad. It's just, it felt a little bit more lackluster than the others. And I also feel like they should have dedicated a bit more time to Dr. Phosphorus's backstory. It almost felt rushed, like it was an afterthought. Like they thought, oh, right, we forgot we were supposed to do one of the characters' backstories in this episode. Quick, do a dance montage or whatever. And while I did appreciate the fact that we did learn, like how he became Dr. Phosphorus, he's one of those characters where I don't know that much about him. I didn't know that much about him until, we went into this and did a brief Google search and everything, but I haven't seen him in comics before. That's why when we saw the trailer, what's that? You have a weird look in your face.
Yeah. You said Google search. You didn't Bing search him?
I did not. No, I'm not a shill for Microsoft.
And sponsoring the show tonight will be Bing.
When you want your search to give you what you need.
When you want your search to give you points.
Yay!
For using them. But no, while I appreciate the fact that we did get to know a little bit more about him, I will say that, mostly I think I appreciated that because I didn't know much about this character until we went into the series. When we saw the trailer, my initial thought was, and I think Robbie from Attack on Show made had the same thought. I thought it was like a version of Blight from Batman Beyond because that's exactly what he looks identical to Blight. Um, yeah, finding out that he's, another victim of, crime in Gotham, being able to see Rupert Thorne, which I felt was underutilized. I don't know why they would show him and kill him off that quick. It's a shame because he's a good crime boss bad guy for Batman stories. But I did enjoy the Batman cameo, even though it was in shadow. I kind of figured that was the direction they were gonna go when they showed the Iceberg Lounge. Um, but the rest of it just seemed like they were just, kind of hiding and ducking for cover and everything. And then they all kind of converge together and they're gonna go to their final showdown. So yeah, it was fine. It was a good episode. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite. I feel like they should have given similar amount of time that they've given so much time to the bride and to Eric. Like their backstory and continuous story seems to be in all of this stuff, and I wish I would have given a little bit more time to Doc Phosphorus to kind of maybe show us more about how he got into crime, like more about what he was doing and what was going on rather than just, dancing. So, I am going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. David?
Well, I gotta tell you, I like the way this episode, they've all been kind of flashbacks to each character, which has been great. I liked his backstory. I didn't know it beforehand, so that that
So
was
similar
good.
boat as me.
Yeah, it was fresh. And when they were in today's times, yeah, they spent a lot of time still. They were still developing, even though the show was only I think 34 minutes. They they still had time to develop all the other characters, even Weasel's little part, where with the wolves, you know, we're learning that he can bond with anybody if he needs to, and he does it, and we're learning that all these I think the only one that's really bad on purpose is Eric, and and the other ones are victims of circumstance, but they're doing what they got to do to survive, and Phosphorus' backstory was kind of tragic. um as far as like the music goes, I'm not as hip on it as I know it's different and it kind of fits the scenes, but I just kind of don't like it. But
I didn't care for the music in this episode either.
yeah, it was it's James Gunn's type of music, so I mean it's cool for the show, but I guess I didn't really like it. So let's see here, what else? In the brothel, showing us that there's other metahumans out there that we don't know as heroes or villains. They just have some kind of power, and that it's known that they're out there, you know. So that's kind of cool. So we're just gonna have some villains that we might not even think about coming up in the series, or maybe in the whole DCU, So that's kind of cool. It's setting that up. So I like the show overall. I liked it might have been my favorite show all season. So I'm gonna give it 7.5.
Nice. Well, excellent job, gentlemen. I thought there was some news that I was going to bring up tonight.
Oh yeah?
There had to be.
Now I can't think of what it was.
Huh.
I will briefly look up comic news.
Me too.
Well, while we're waiting on that, if you are watching us and you haven't given us a rating in the chat, what did you think? If you've been watching Creature Commandos, what do you think of it? What is your rating? We usually rate this on what we call, well, they dub it the Doug scale, but yeah, it's
It is
essentially
the
it's
Doug
a scale. Okay, and it's 1 to 10, with 10 being amazing, best thing you've ever seen, 1 being unwatchable, and 5 is average. So if you had to give it a rating on that scale, what would you rate this episode of Creature Commandos?
Yes, let us know in the chat. There's two things I wanted to bring up, and now I remember them.
Okay.
The first rumor is that the Punisher is getting his own Disney Plus series, and it's basically going to be a continuation of his Netflix series.
Good. Good.
Once again,
that's amazing.
Yep, has not been confirmed, but Disney,
it needs to be.
It. Yes.
Because the Netflix series was amazing. It's my dad's favorite show, and it got him into like the other Marvel TV shows. We ended up watching Daredevil together. We ended up watching Echo. He loved Echo, weirdly enough. I didn't think that'd be his thing, but he loved it.
Was it because Kingpin was in it?
I don't know. Maybe.
And some of these other series might not have needed a series, but I think the Punishers deserve it of series, movies, a series of movies. Great character.
And John Bernthal is freaking amazing as him.
Yeah.
He really goes all out and just acts his butt off for this character. So, yes, please, Disney, make that happen. And then the other one that dropped, other rumor, is that Disney is developing a Knights of the Old Republic era series.
Oh.
Obviously, we don't know any showrunners or anything of that nature. But I do kind of hope this is true also. Once again, I think we were all kind of worried after The Acolyte that the executives over at Disney wouldn't want to make anything outside of the Skywalker saga timeline. And that would be a huge mistake if they did that. So let's hope this is true. Let's hope they get a quality Knights of the Old Republic show, and then they won't be as afraid to kind of get out of the wheelhouse that is the Skywalker saga.
I hope so too, because I think we said this back when we were reviewing The Acolyte. The problem wasn't the era that they set it in. It was the story they were attempting to tell.
Yep. Oh, and then the other thing is, oh my God, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine? Sean Levy. He's making a Star Wars movie.
Really?
Yes.
It's an odd choice.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You know, I think when you have a $1 billion Deadpool movie, they start reaching out to you and saying, hey, do you want to do this? But
would that still work for Star Wars, though?
I mean, if he had a good script. I mean, because they did, what was the other movie that Sean Levy...
Because, like, I like Edgar Wright, but I would never want him to direct Star Wars.
Well, yeah, Edgar Wright's a little different.
Yeah, you can be a good director and not be good for certain projects.
And of course, people are already saying, is he going to, reconnect with Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman for it? But what the heck? And there's rumors that Rey Skywalker is going to show up in it. But once again, I don't think we know enough about it.
Who we really need is Taika Waititi to, go ahead and make his Star Wars masterpiece and, really give that that up-and-coming actress Natalie Portman a chance. I think she would be good in Star Wars.
He did offer her a role. That's true, yes.
I still don't know if that was a joke or not. Like, if he legit didn't know.
I don't think he knew.
You got a brick in there.
But hey, that's
speaking of Star Wars. This year is supposed to be the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think they're going to do what they did with Phantom Menace and put that in theaters?
I do.
Yes.
I hope so. And if they do, would you gentlemen be interested in going to see it?
100%.
Absolutely. I want to beat you to it, Keith.
I would love to, too. I know this sounds really weird. I've mentioned this on one of our streams before. Especially considering, like, I should have seen the other prequels in theaters. But Revenge of the Sith was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. Yeah. I never saw Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones in theaters. I saw them like on DVD after they released it. I don't know why. I truly don't know why, because I was a giant Star Wars fan. Like I bought all of the like supplementary books every time like a new thing. I didn't I only bought like one or two of the I guess they're called Legends now, Legends books back then. Never really got into them that much. I probably just I don't know, maybe I just got bad stories, not that great, but I remember all the supplementary stuff. I was really into it, like the books that broke down. This is how a lightsaber works. This is the what a stormtrooper looks like, and this is a day to day on the Death Star. You know, all the like the real deep nerdy shit. I was like super into it. So I don't know why I never saw Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones in theaters. I ended up seeing them like I said after the fact on DVD. But yeah, I would if they do decide to bring Revenge of the Sith to theaters, I would love to see it again on the big screen.
What they should do is have
3D.
the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars
Yeah.
lead into Revenge of the Sith at the
Or-
screen.
Since it
Intertwine
did
it.
run concurrently with the events of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
just leave those in.
That would be cool. That would be super cool. I was also thinking earlier today when I read about it, I was like, oh, you know, it'd be also be cool if they did like a 10 years later and we get to watch the Obi-Wan Vader fight from the Obi-Wan show. Because that was like really the only good part about it was their final fight.
What do you mean? We
I
got
didn't even like
we
that.
got that kid getting snuck out in the thing when no one saw it.
No, not that part. Not that
That,
part.
that was the good part, right?
No. No, when oh my gosh, just the slicing the part of his mask off like Ahsoka did, and then for him saying, "You didn't do this to me. I killed Anakin." It's like, oh, that got me, man.
Yeah.
That was deep. I liked it.
I liked it too. That was
Oh, you really did. I thought that was sarcasm because
No,
that's
I enjoyed that. I thought that was a good scene, especially considering the rest of the show had its issues, but I did enjoy that fight.
same. I enjoyed that fight. A lot of the rest of those episodes were not as good as you would have hoped with Ewan McGregor. I'm sorry, Ewan McGregor. And
It was definitely a waste of an Ewan.
it was. Man, now we need the Battle of Mandalore, Clone Wars intermingled into Revenge of the Sith,
That'd be great.
released in theaters.
Oh
in
man, to
Super
see that Maul
IMAX.
Ahsoka fight again.
Oh,
To
yeah.
see Maul Ahsoka in live action would be freaking awesome. I mean, it was amazing in Clone Wars, but to see them like recreate it, especially if they got Ray Park back, oh, that'd be amazing.
See, that wouldn't be the Rosario Dawson age Ahsoka either.
They'd probably have to use a younger one, yeah.
Did have to get the Ariana Greenblatt or whatever who played her in the Clone Wars flashbacks.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, she probably aged up enough. Was she probably like 18 by now? That's about the age Ahsoka was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's been a couple of years. I'd be all right.
Put
with
her
that.
through some extensive acrobatic training,
Oh yeah.
She can do all the
Sent her to the
Love
circus
the
for 4
flips
years.
and everything. Right, yeah.
She
I thought it
becomes
was training for Star Wars. You are. Go hug the elephant.
she becomes one of the flying Graysons.
Oh no! The one that lived, right?
Yes. Yes.
You're Robin now. I thought it was a Star Wars.
What is
Nope, just
going
go to Earth
on?
and be happy.
Put on these green panties. What?
What on
But that's
earth
in
are
the
you
galaxy far, far away.
Over your stockings. Over. Come on.
Don't you know anything?
Well, sweet. Shall we find somebody to raid, gentlemen?
I think
should.
so. I think so.
Did we ever figure out how to rate on YouTube yet?
We do, but you have to know they have to be live on YouTube.
And it's like you have to know so that way you can redirect
You
to
have to
them.
plan it out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
I don't because I don't think it doesn't you can't see a list of channels that are currently live like Twitch will show you, which is kind of a shame.
Definitely is.
Well, if we ever cross with TG, I say we do it for this channel.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
nice.
a good idea. That's a great idea,
Yeah.
Dave. Now we got, let's see, we got Lara Loopsy playing Rogue Company. We got Graduating playing Marvel Rivals. We got Bubble playing Kingdom Coming. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
So I was like, what?
That's she wrote Kingdom Coming, and I'm like, wait a minute.
How about Graduating? Only has 15 people.
I like it. And they're playing Marvel Rivals, so
Yeah.
fits with our theme.
Well, sort of.
Instead of the term Kingdom Coming, I prefer Kingdom Headed Our Way.
Fair enough.
Kingdom, I have arrived.
Kingdom. Oh, that's gross.
And on that note, for those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching. You know, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment on this video. It helps us out tremendously, and it has zero cost for you. If you're still here on Twitch, we're about to raid Graduating, playing Marvel Rivals. But if you're not following us, please do. And if you feel like subscribing to us, we know that's a cost to you. We would appreciate it, but don't feel obligated to do so. Any last statements before we sign off, gentlemen?
I love
I ain't
you.
never heard of no Atten.
I didn't say that once. Darn it.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo. Hey fellow nerds, I hope